Professor Merkay. I'm Jessica. Today I will share my final research project. My research topic is the role of employee mental health support in organizational performance in the global marketplace. Insights from research and my own work practice. Okay, first, let me briefly outline today's presentation. I will start with an introduction on why mental health is such a pressing issue in today's global workplace. Then I will present the theoretical foundation from HR research. After that, I will discuss the impact of mental health on productivity and performance, employee engagement and retention, organizational culture and employer branding, and cross-cultural perspectives. I also highlight the role of digital innovation. Finally, I will conclude by showing how the findings support my thesis statement. First is introduction, which is why I chose this topic. Because mental health in the workplace has become a global priority. According to the World Health Organization, depression and anxiety cost the global economy $1 trillion each year in lost productivity. As far as I know, industries such as banking and finance face particularly high stress due to long hours and strict performance targets. From my own 10 years of experience in banking, I observed how colleagues often struggled with stress and burnout. Some left their jobs early, while others performed better when they received informal support from managers or peers. So this leads to my thesis statement. Employee mental health support is a critical determinant of organizational performance, shaping productivity, engagement, culture, and employer branding in today's global marketplace. Next is about theoretical foundations. The academic research gives us 3 ways to understand why mental health matters in organizations. First is human capital theory. This idea says employees are not just workers, they are valuable assets. When organizations support mental health, employees become more creative, more resilient, and more effective. In other words, investing in well-being is really investing in stronger human capital. Second, we have social exchange theory. This is about reciprocity. When employees feel supported by their organization, they usually give back with loyalty, higher engagement, and extra effort. But if they feel ignored or undervalued, the opposite happens: disengagement or even leaving the company. Finally, there's the resource-based values. This theory argues that true competitive advantage comes from resources that are real and hard to copy. A workforce that is both healthy and resilient can be exactly that. Something unique that helps one company stand out from its competitors. So together, these 3 perspectives show us that mental health is not just a personal issue, it's a strategic business advantage. Okay, next is the first of the 5 key themes I'm researching: productivity and performance. Many research consistently links mental health to higher productivity. For example, Goetzel and colleagues found wellness programs improve job performance. Deloitte reported a 4-to-1 return on investment in mental health initiatives, mainly by reducing absenteeism. During COVID-19, Clifton and colleagues showed that employees with access to mental health support were more adaptable and resilient. In my own workplace experience, China banking industry, I saw how extreme pressure reduced efficiency. For example, during year-end closing, our team was expected to meet very aggressive sales targets while also finishing detailed compliance reports. Many colleagues stayed late almost every night, and instead of boosting results, this led to fatigue, calculation errors, and slower progress. On the other hand, when a manager stepped into rebalance to workload and showed understanding, the team became more focused, cooperative, and productive. This small change provides that mental health support, even in simple forms, make a big difference in performance. Now, let's talk about engagement and retention. Research shows that when employees feel psychologically supported, they are more motivated and loyal to the company. A study found that employees who feel cared for are far more likely to stay engaged and even go above and beyond their basic duties. But the opposite is also true. Chloe and Dave showed that burnout is one of the biggest predictors of voluntary turnover, especially among younger employees. I've seen this myself at the bank where I worked. Many new hires came in full of energy, but within 2 or 3 years, the overwhelming workload and stress pushed them resign. Others stayed, but they were disengaged, doing only the minimum. This turnover not only hurt morale, but also cost the bank money in recruitment and training. One positive example comes from IBM. Their global wellness program integrated mental health into talent management. By doing this, IBM reduced burnout and improved long-term retention. It showed that when mental health support is built into the large HR strategy, it becomes much more effective. But there's a caution here. Guest argues that programs done only for compliance or for show can actually backfire. If employees feel the company is being fake, trust is lost and engagement goes down. So for retention to improve, support must be authentic and meaningful. The third key theme, organizational culture and branding. Culture plays a decisive role in whether mental health initiatives succeed. When the culture is open and supportive, employees feel less stigma and are more willing to seek help. PwC reported that 73% of job seekers consider mental health policies important when evaluating employers. Companies such as Microsoft and Unilever have positioned themselves as employer of choice by embedding well-being into their corporate culture. In contrast, at the Bank of China, I observed that performance metrics were valued over well-being. Before, in I worked bank, our slogan was that performance indicators are life and everything must give way to performance. This means that even though everyone is stressed and tired, all employees are reluctant to talk about stress, which limits the effectiveness of informal support. Next, the fourth key theme is cross-cultural perspectives. Mental health is not experienced the same way across countries. In individualist countries such as United States, employees prefer private one-on-one counseling. But in collectivist contexts like China, group or family involvement may be more effective. The World Health Organization also reports that stigma remains higher in Asia compared with Western countries. I can particularly relate to this point. Having worked in the Chinese banking industry for more than 10 years, I, include my colleagues, have never told our leader about our anxiety, our stress and frustrations, because we feel that it would be seen as a weakness. Because the ability to withstand pressure and regulate emotions is a skill we are often asked about during work interviews, Therefore, multinational firms must balance global standards with local adaptation to design effective programs. Okay, the last is digital innovation. And in today's digital information age, digital tools are also changing the way organizations support mental health. We now see telehealth platforms, online therapy apps, and even AI-based wellness tools. One strong example is IBM's digital wellness program, which allows the company to deliver consistent support across many countries. This shows how technology can help global organizations reach employees everywhere, even in remote teams. Of course, there are challenges such as protecting privacy and issue equal access to technology. For digital programs to work, companies need to address these concerns and build trust. Okay, in conclusion, mental health support is no longer optional. It is essential for organizational success. When employees feel supported, they are more productive, more engaged, and more innovative. Second, mental health programs help build a healthier culture and stronger employer brand, which makes it easier to attract and keep talent. And finally, as we move forward, digital tools and cultural adaptation will play a huge role in shaping how organizations provide this support. Overall, these findings strongly support my thesis. Organizations that prioritize mental health achieve sustainable competitive advantage in the global marketplace. Okay, the last part, these are my references. I would like to acknowledge the academic sources used in this presentation, including works by Gautier, Dearlot, Altringe, Guest, and others. Thank you. Okay, that's all my sharing. The last, thank you my only audience, Mrs. Merkay. I really appreciate you watching and comment. Thank you. Bye bye.